Okay, I had to get it together quick. And then I
Yeah.
remember this computer works great with StreamYard, so I had to switch computers
Hmm.
too.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone tonight with Sister Biz. And this is the month for women, right? Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it
what they say.
is.
Yeah. So I guess we're just celebrating all women from different walks of, I guess, is it profession or just in general, just women in general? Because I have to research what the month actually is about myself. Do you know?
Do I know? I think I was just reading something the other day, and it started with just celebrating women, their accomplishments, and then it went into a month. I can't remember exactly what it is because there's
Hmm.
so much information out there all
Right.
the time to keep up. And even
Right.
just finding out that the first day was Black Women History. Never
Oh
knew that.
wow. No,
That had
I know.
I know it's just everything keeps evolving. That's why I think we have
Hmm.
to be more readily available to be reading. And
Right.
then the other part is then to retain the information.
Right. Exactly. 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 And it just seems like, every year it's something new that people are celebrating. So just trying to keep abreast is can be quite challenging, because like I'll look on like the different social media platforms and like one day you'll be like, wow, I didn't know that was the day. It'd be like news to me. So it's a
Yes.
lot to keep up with. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what it is that you do, and basically how we can contact you.
Well, I'm Cynthia Boykin, and I first like to say thank you for inviting me.
Of
Um,
course.
Thank you for inviting me. And of course, thank you for our leader here, Donnie, because I'm trying to think, does he sleep? Because he's always on point. I mean, but it's really a blessing because it's to me, it's almost like if I was asleep, I better wake up, be ready at any time. So
Hmm.
I'm excited to be here. I am an entrepreneur. And I
Okay.
have been in business. My business is called, first of all, my name is Cynthia Boykin. And I was raised in upstate New York, moved to Chicago years ago, stayed in Chicago for like 34 years. And I started my business there.
Okay. Which side? Which
On what
side of
side?
you? Hmm.
Well, when I moved, I used to live in Waukegan, Illinois, which
Okay.
is,
Okay.
which is
Up
near,
north.
yeah, way north. And when I moved to Chicago, I moved to the north side, Wicker
Okay.
Park.
Okay.
I, I moved to
Okay.
Wicker Park, and which I loved it because I had a view of all of downtown. I was around transportation and everything, so it was a great time. I really loved Chicago. I started my business living in Waukegan because I was working for a retailer, but I always knew that there was something different. And I had all these business cards. I had about 1,000 business cards because when people gave me their business cards, I realized how important it was. It just wasn't a card, there was more to it than that. And so I started myself started selling vintage purses. I would collect vintage purses like at resale stores, at estate sales. And while I was doing that, being a vendor, I realized that, maybe I could talk about other people's businesses since I had started meeting so many people that were in business. And as I was telling them about me being a vendor, and I actually collected gently used clothes, fabulous clothes, because I had a well, I wouldn't say a fetish, but I knew high end merchandise.
Right.
So as I was doing that, I said, let me start promote other people's businesses, and then the rest was history. I
Okay.
used like 1,000 business cards and put them in this system called Constant Contact, as if I didn't really know what I was doing, but I started building it. And then I got my first customer who wanted to promote themselves.
Okay.
Um, and she was actually out of Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, was originally from Chicago. And that was my first customer. And then I started building my network, and now I have 56,000 people on my list worldwide.
Wow. Wow.
And
So basically you promote for other businesses, and is it where you promote on social platforms or
um,
emails, or how do you
yes,
do it?
I have an email list of 56,000, and so I
Okay.
use that. It's like e-blast marketing. And in Chicago, before I even moved to Chicago, they didn't know who I was. They were like, "Who is this? What you need is," because Chicago is a very competitive city.
Mm-hmm.
Promotion
Oh
is
yeah.
promotions is what they do. So they're like, "Who is this lady?" And so I started promoting, and before you knew it, I was taking over the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So does your company like offer a variety of different packages? Like, are
Yes.
you available? Okay. For like
Yes.
smaller people just starting or?
Right. It is smaller people because that's when as I was out being a vendor, I met people. Being a vendor, you meet different people that are in business.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed that we would be at an event and all these things would be going on, but then there weren't people there. That's when I realized they're not really promoting the people. And I would see that the vendors were very distraught a little sometimes because they're like, I paid this money, where are these people? And I started building a relationship with people, and then I started promoting them. So I promote businesses, products, events, press releases, comedy shows. I started local in Chicago, but now I do them all over the world.
Okay.
Um, and so I do have different packages um, that I promote. Um, and also, I do consultations with people who don't have an idea of what they need to do as far as promoting their businesses. I consult, I work with the Boss Network as their network manager. So I have an opportunity to travel all over the world. And so I've met
Wow.
people all over the world. I meet people from Black Enterprise. They're like, "Oh, yeah, I get your emails all the time." I meet people, they're like, "Oh, you're her." So it's really quite interesting because I paid attention to people, places, and things and who people are. So I built a list of
Okay.
movers and shakers all over this country. So
Okay. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So if you're going to Denver, you want to know who the movers and shakers are, you call What You Need Is, because I'll let you know who they are.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I,
Well, I'm in Baltimore, so I guess like for people that like myself that have like brick and mortars or that may have customers that they interact with daily, you would advise them collecting the customers' emails, would I guess so that you can kind of have a target audience, or would that also is that like a separate package with the 56,000 that you
well,
have?
yes, I do have it segmented by city
Okay.
and sometimes just by state. But would I recommend that a person get their email addresses?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I
Collect
do.
them. Okay.
Because it's very important. Sometimes we don't know how important it is. That's how I had 1,000 business cards because I thought
Mm-hmm.
these people are important. They
Right.
gave me their card. At first I didn't know why I had them, but I'm a master networker, so I think people are important, and I kept the cards, and that's how I started building my list. So I think we don't overlook people,
Right.
because sometimes the person you need, what you need is right in front of you. You're thinking,
Exactly.
I gotta get with this one, that one. It's right. What you need is right in front of you. You must build a list because it builds a relationship. You can follow back on them. Not a Rolodex full of cards, but within 3 days, once you get that card, try to contact that person and make a connection
Okay.
and
Wow.
see and listen to them to see what they need. Don't sell, just see what they need. Just go in and see
Right.
who the person is.
So are you big like I know a lot of people now are talking about the landing pages where you can kind of I guess grab hold and you're also able to get those emails and the cell phones where you can send text messages. So are you a big promoter of those or
Of landing pages, I think
Mhm.
it works because sometimes people are not they're not ready. You
Right.
know, they have a website and they'll say under construction. Well, now if the person is gone, where's their email address?
Mhm.
I used
Okay.
to promote I used to promote a lot of comedy shows, a lot, because Chicago is known for comedy. And
Right.
I go to comedy shows. I'm like, you're not. obtaining email addresses, and they're like, oh no, we don't have time for that. Now they wish they had those email addresses.
Exactly.
It's very important because once the person is gone, they're gone.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I know myself. I have to get a landing page done. It seems like you start a business, then you have to go back and fine tune a lot of things that you kind of didn't think about when you originally started. And even if you did, you don't really have time, to address it because you're steady, So that's kind of where I'm at to do the landing page.
Keeping a database is a job. That's why people come to me because, it's like you have all these things going on, but yet you don't even know, you don't have a person, you don't even know how to get in contact with these people. So you need somebody that can manage a database or even manage your particular database, because I have people that just use me to keep their database together.
Oh, okay.
So when I send it out, it goes out directly from them, because that's a job. People don't have time for that. It's not for everyone.
No, it's very detailed. Definitely. Very detailed. So we have Miss Tammy Rollins has joined us. I think you're on mute though, Tammy. Hello.
I am. I was on mute. How are you?
Oh, we're good. We're great.
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Tammy, and what it is that you do.
Sure. My name is Tammy Rollins. I am a real estate broker here in Maryland.
Okay.
We service the DMV area. My office is located in Pikesville. We do both commercial and residential. And right now we're working on some development projects in Baltimore City.
Oh, wow. Where? In which areas?
It's going to be on the west side. Don't want to give a little bit of detail right now because we still kind of have things in the works. But yeah, it's going to be on the west side of Baltimore. Absolutely.
Okay. That's where I'm at, in Union Square.
Okay.
Lombard and Calhoun.
Yeah, not far.
We're right there. So it's an exciting time to see so much development, definitely like along West Baltimore Street, and then just around the city in general, around the La Cité development and stuff. So it's very exciting to see.
Absolutely.
So
because I'm in real estate, it really is exciting. It's an exciting time for everyone right now. So I can't wait for the project to start and for more projects to begin in Baltimore City. Absolutely.
Right. So is it like a mixture of different housing or commercial development?
It's going to be a mixture of different houses. They're going to be row homes. And actually what they're going to do is probably just go and tear down the existing homes that's there and kind of build everything from the ground up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Get rid of some of those abandoned buildings.
Hey, we definitely need it. We definitely need it. So that is good. Real estate. I love real estate. I've been on the investment side for like almost 20 years. So I love that side. I haven't ventured into like being a realtor and stuff, but now. So.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, you meet a lot of different people and everything. So, but you guys keep a big database of emails and contacts and stuff too.
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's necessary. Because we want to send out thank yous and updates on what's going on with the real estate company. Maybe happy birthdays, happy anniversaries. So a database is certainly one of the things that we keep abreast on.
Right. And like right now, like it's hard. The houses aren't even staying on the market. Like they're going up under contract fast.
Very fast.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, this is unprecedented for Baltimore right now. It's hot.
Yes.
A lot of areas. So it's a wonderful thing. So
it is.
Yeah. So is it hard to get involved in real estate? I guess because, like most people see, right? And people ask me all the time as an investor, they'll say, is it true that you can actually go in with no money down? Not as an investor. I don't know about that. So I'll be like.
Not as an investor and not as a consumer either.
Right. So I'll be like, I don't think so.
You can't go with no money down.
Right.
That's kind of on the finance side of it. But from what I know, no, you can't go in with any money down. The banks want to see that you have a vested interest in your property that you're looking to obtain. So, of course, they want you to bring money to the table. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And that's what I try. I just be like, I don't know, but it was, you have to invest in that system. So it wasn't really no money down, let that education. So,
absolutely.
And then you're going to find out some more money you're going to have to put down eventually.
Yeah, you're
Exactly.
certainly gonna have to put money down. So
Mm-hmm.
that idea
Mm-hmm.
of no money down, you're gonna pay one way or the other. You're gonna put some money down.
Right, right,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right. So are they still doing like the first time home buyer programs or no?
Yes, they are. There's
Okay.
several first time home buyer programs out there. The staff that's on here now, the people, everyone that's joining us now can call me at 443
Okay.
660 7120. Again, that's 443 660 7120. And I'll give them information on the first time home buyer classes, but there are some out there. Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. Because, yeah, I know like a lot of people, they ask, and I don't really know that side. I just know that they, exist. And I'd be like, I think so.
Yeah, they do. They
Check
do.
into them.
They can reach out to me and I can give them the information that they're looking for. Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
So do you build and develop as well, or do you just like kind of just broker like the deals and stuff?
Right now, I'm just brokering most of the deals. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really have a lot of time for myself to do that because I have a lot of clients that's doing like on the investment side, like that you were talking about. And recently, like I said, I've gotten into some development projects. So right now, I just kind of supervise and broker everything.
Wow, that's so how could like I guess a young girl that may want to start, she got her real estate license. Like how hard is it to become a broker?
It's not hard to become a broker. It's just maybe hard to maintain being a broker.
Okay.
Once you get your license, I believe I've had my license for a couple of years now. So don't get me wrong. You may have to research some of this information because things change so much. But I believe you have to be a realtor for about 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
And then you can go and take the test to become a broker. Well, it's a class. You have to take the class and then you take the test and you can become a broker. Obviously, you have to open up your own office because they want you to have a brick and mortar place, and you have to get liability insurance and, obviously maybe recruiting agents to work under you.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
It can be obtained.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Any licenses that you need for your business, Cynthia, or no? I think you went on mute.
No.
No, none. Okay.
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's very interesting. I mean, it's like just information how, each industry definitely needs to, you have to definitely be in touch with the customer. It's different ways of, getting in contact with the customers too, and just collection of data and what you can do with the data, and do you have like any recommendations, the easy way of getting like those emails and texts? Because sometimes it's hard to get people's phone. They'd be like, what you want my phone number for?
Well, the email addresses are very obtainable. Actually, even if you're on Instagram, everybody's email is within their Instagram.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
all the emails in Instagram. But I had started because I pay attention to people, and now a lot of times people don't really have business cards. If they want to do business with you, or if they kind of engage with you, they take your phone, they put their number in. But email addresses are obtained through everything. If you go to a website, there's the email address. Because everybody's out there, everybody has so many businesses now. So if they don't put the information down, you can go there and get the email addresses. It's just like if I go to the Chicago Urban League dinner or a church dinner, anything like that. When you see those ad books, those are prospective customers because they're business people.
Okay, so like say for instance, like for me, my business is like logistics and shipping. And if you don't have those people in your database, right, you will go and try to access people to target that audience that I may want to target?
Yes,
okay.
You can.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yes, you can, because email addresses are they're everywhere. If it's a business, you can look at it. And even like I was giving an example of the Chicago Urban League, I started realizing like I've had all these ad books. When you go to these dinners, a lot of times they're like $200 and stuff. Those are real legit business owners in there. So you can target them. And that's how you can start building your base. You can go for who you want to have in your database.
Okay. Well, I don't want to do it myself. I know that.
Right.
That's just like an additional job.
Right. So So
Yeah.
you don't have random people, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I got all these emails," and like, but where did you get them from?
Right.
You know,
Right.
did you buy them? Do you know these people? So everything I read, I pay attention, and I've done this for 13 years, and this is
Wow.
all this was all I had done for 13 years. That was my only business, nothing on the side. Um, so this is what I do. I study people. And so I pay attention. I strategically know who I want on my database list,
Right.
you
Right.
know, because you can put their name, their address, their business, their field that they're in. It's almost like a tracking system. So you know who people are, you know, by the state. So that's why when people, they're going to do an event in, like, say, Tracy, California, you know, I will have something in Tracy, California. I can have something in San Jose. I can have something in San Diego, because I put them in by categories.
Okay. Okay. And Tammy, so, and you use a similar system for your emails, like, but is it like current customers or new customers that you kind of target, I guess, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
We target a little bit of both. We do have a database that we utilize, and again, we target a little bit of both because we want to make sure that we stay in contact with the customer. Because they buy a house one time doesn't mean that they're not going to downsize or upgrade at some point. So you want to keep that activity going and make sure that they know your name and that you're still in the business.
Now, in regards to, I guess, like the commercial side of things, because now I'm breaking more into commercial with getting my first warehouse, which is like, ew, very scary.
I like that.
It's highly scary.
Yes.
It's almost traumatizing for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they talk about all of these different things that most people, even as an investor, when you just kind of focus on one side, you know, residential, I've done mixed use, but never to the full scale of commercial, and having to understand like commercial lending, the whole, you know, price per square foot. I don't like all of that is still like hieroglyphics, like it's different, a whole new realm. And believe it or not, it's not like a lot of minorities in that commercial space that I'm finding.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the industrial. When you come to the industrial classification of zoning,
Right.
it's hardly none of us. We're kind of obsolete. So I think that that's a major area that a lot of, you know, people we could kind of, but I guess it's just getting started. A lot of people don't know how to get started in that commercial space. So do you have any recommendations on how they can become a little bit more comfortable or knowledgeable in regards to commercial investing?
Absolutely. You have to study your craft. If that's
Mm-hmm.
something that you're interested in, you really have to be around those people. I mean, it's really important that you kind of, I guess, surround yourself around the company that you need to keep. And so if that's the
Right.
commercial industry, those are the people that you need to make sure you go to the meetings, that you take classes, that you kind of get in the room with those people so that you can learn what there is to be on the commercial side. I'm just one of those people. If I see it, I'm going to get it. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think everyone should really have that kind of perspective. I mean, they didn't want me probably in that field, or it wasn't easy for me to become a
Right.
commercial broker as well. But it's something that I had an interest in. I know when people of color come to look, like you said, it's not a lot of people in the industry. They probably want to work with somebody that looks like me every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I need to have that information and be knowledgeable and educated on how the process works.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. So let me get this straight. There is, as a broker, you got to have commercial brokerage and then residential.
no,
Is it
it's
okay?
one. I have one license, but I can do both commercial and residential.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So it's like you just have to have information. You have to be informed, whether
Yes.
it's how to collect your data for your customers, or whether or not it's the craft that you want to perfect. You
Absolutely.
have to information and educating yourself is just definitely one of the. And I mean, it's out there and it's attainable, but sometimes it can just seem challenging when you don't have people like yourself that you can kind of tap into, as well as that look like you. So right now I'm at the very beginning. So, and we got the financing, but it's just intimidating, because you look at that number and you're like, ooh,
Yeah,
you know.
it can be very intimidating, but just look at the goal, and the reward is always good. And I always
Ooh,
say that to my clients: the reward is always good.
yeah, because a couple glasses of wine.
Yeah,
I'm like, whoa.
the
So
numbers can be, a little overwhelming, but the reward is good.
yeah. So let me ask you, I guess, in regards to economic development, where do you see, I guess, the minority in regards to we hear a lot of different data in regards to where Black women are professionally compared to Black men, but I would like to know collectively as Black people, where should we focus for economic development? We know real estate is a wonderful way, because land never depreciates. It's going to always be an asset. But any other areas that you would recommend that we could use or try to get to?
If I always, and I even encourage my children right now, you just hit the nail on the head, is real estate. I mean, real estate or investing in stocks and bonds, mutual funds, anything along with financing. But I'll still go back to real estate is the way to go. Even if you have to take your $5,000 and buy a $5,000 house for cash and, fix it up so that you can rent it out, so that you can have that income coming back to you. I mean, real estate is just one of those markets where you just will never fail. And I know people hear a lot of times that, homes may go into short sales, or, people's homes may get foreclosed on. But at some point, those people kind of regroup themselves and they still go back and buy again. Because once you're a homeowner, you want to become a homeowner again.
Exactly.
So real estate is really I would say, the way to go.
Okay.
To kind of put some stability in our communities.
Exactly. It was very surprising to see when they talk about how many minorities, actually the percentage of how many minorities actually own their homes today. It's very alarming. We're pretty much being outpaced by other minorities that are just coming to the country, and it's pretty scary. Because ownership really is an asset, and it's really like untapped revenue depending on where you purchase, because of that equity. I realize we're up against a lot of different challenges too, because you watching the news about the appraisals, you'd be like, whoa, like you got to get other colors to show your house to get your house. So that's weird, but I guess it does happen. It does happen.
Don't let those news reports kind of discourage you from the foundation and the stability that you need, because again,
Exactly.
It's stability for yourself or stability for your family. But we do have some challenges that we're up against when it comes to real estate, because those student loans, I mean, our kids are getting student loans to go to school, which I mean affects them tremendously when they're coming out of school, because it affects their debt to income ratio.
Right.
So along with some other challenges that we may have, but that's one of the biggest ones that I see young people coming out of school. It's not that they don't want to buy houses. The student loan debt is enormous.
Right. Exactly. So. Exactly. And how about you, Cynthia? What do you think that collectively as minorities we can do, to definitely increase our economic development?
Well, I agree totally with Miss Tammy Rowlands, because she hit the nail on the head with everything. And because I believe the student debt is a setup from the beginning. Because, I know people that are 50s and 60s and still owing on student debt. So it almost seems like it was something that's hard to get out of. But what I am finding out, and I'm planning on taking a class on Airbnbs.
Okay.
Kind of lines up. I guess it's a little different than home ownership, but that can be very lucrative as well. Because, I'm finding out that you don't actually have to own the property, but you can lease it and still come out on top.
For an Airbnb?
For Airbnb. Yeah. I just had a friend that did it. She bought one, and maybe 3 months later she got her second one.
But she's buying them and then she's leasing them to Airbnb, or is she leasing them?
She's leasing them.
And the landlord is allowing her to lease, sublease?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, as a landlord, if somebody subleased my house, I would file for eviction.
Yeah.
I would. Kid you not. Listen, because that's a lot. You know what I mean? It's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
but apparently it's a whole business going on that I didn't know about. A lot of people weren't privy to the information and the legalities of how it can work.
Mm-hmm. There is a area there that you can be very lucrative when it comes to the Airbnbs. Absolutely.
Well, I get it if they own it and they want to, but to lease it from me and then you sublease it. I thought they had like little clauses, because I have a clause in my lease that you can't sublease.
Well, everyone doesn't have a clause. Some people have a clause that you can sublease.
They got them Staples leases.
Right. It depends on the area that you're in. So some people have a clause where you can sublease. And if the rent is being paid, you know, because you have some landlords out, especially in the economy we're in now, they're not even getting any rent money.
That's true. That is true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, my thing is that I guess I'm afraid of people like having parties and definitely destroying your house. And then you just kind of like showing up and you don't know who's in your house. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems a little weird to me. I mean, I get it if they own it and they sublease, you know, they lease it to Airbnb, you know, like they decided themselves, the owners, to do Airbnb. But to have like a tenant or someone do it, then that's kind of, I don't know. Look,
yeah, well, there's actually
I like to know my people.
There's actually a young lady from Atlanta who is, I think she may be 25, and she owns about 28 Airbnbs.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I know that Baltimore is making it hard for them though to do that because they want them to have this license and
and I believe they're taxing now. It's a tax on it if you do Airbnb.
Tax.
Yeah. And wow. If the tax is not there yet, I think it may be coming. There's something in the works about a tax on Airbnb here. So.
Wow. So now they're going to tax the Airbnb. We got the bag tax. And then we have the new digital Amazon. You got a lot of tax. Wow.
Right. And then we have the tax if you're doing online advertising. They're going to be taxing us on that.
Through Google? Like the Google ads?
Well, the ads and Instagram, and so all those social media platforms, if you're advertising, they're going to start taxing that.
Is that the state or the city?
I believe that's the state.
I think the state.
I believe it's the state.
Wow. I got to pay attention more to like what the legislation and stuff like. Wow.
Like we said in the beginning, every day is something different.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Yes.
Yeah, because I be set for like the emails. I try to sit down and read them all at once and try to figure out like, but yeah, I'm a little bit behind. But wow. But the bag tax is coming up in July, I think. They moved it because it was supposed to come up, I believe, in January.
Was it January?
Is it June? And now they moved it. For Baltimore, they moved it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 5 cents. So you have to make sure you guys get your what do they call that? The non-disposable bags. It's for the grocery stores and stuff. Exactly. So doing business in Baltimore, where we have new leadership, where would you like to see Baltimore turn? I'll start with you, Tammy, first.
The real estate. I mean, if people have stable homes, it just makes you feel good. For someone to come home to a stable home. So I really think going into the communities and helping out, trying to get rid of the abandoned buildings, giving people what they need to fix their homes up, that's where we need to go. And obviously money is always a factor, but I think we can work that out because I'm an advocate. If someone, again, has a stable home to live in and somewhere decent to go, it kind of clears your mind up about, other things in your life that's going on.
Right. And how would you, Tammy, do you free here often? No. Baltimore. I'm in Chicago.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
It was going in and out. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I was asking Cynthia, being from Chicago and what Chicago's going through, similar to Baltimore City, but of course, Chicago's like 6 times bigger than Baltimore. But the areas like Inglewood, definitely coming down State Street. We're talking about where Cabrini Green used to be, and how it looks today. Baltimore City is about to hit that transition. Of what we would, some people call it gentrification. I call it beautification at some points, because we do have to get to a little bit of stability in order to, but we still kind of want everyone to be able to prosper, and everyone to be able to have access to home ownership. But State Street doesn't look like what State Street looked like when I lived in Chicago 25, 30 years ago, probably. So what do you think in regards to what Baltimore can do? Because I hate the fact that a lot of people are being pushed out, of the city. Kind of, sort of like what happened in Chicago. We see a lot of that happening. It's happened in New York. It's happened in Washington, D.C. So what do you think, Cynthia, can be done, I guess, so that we can get a piece of the pie?
In the Baltimore area.
Correct.
Yeah, and I've only been to Baltimore twice myself. And I was really shocked when I went to Baltimore, actually, because I didn't realize how it was such a beautiful city, a smaller city. And I could see, I guess you said, the beautification. I had never really been there, but I could see the beautification. Well, I think it is real estate, having real estate and having the right people in place that is going to be there for the people. Because I have seen some history of some things that have happened in Baltimore, and I think that probably had a lot to do with why money didn't come into the area. I think so. I think it could be the leadership, and actually, people coming together from all parts of the city to beautify it. Because I'm not familiar with Baltimore City.
Right. Well, Baltimore is going through, I guess, a lot of the same transition that a lot of your other urban cities, are going through. Right now, Baltimore City is probably one of the largest metropolitan cities that's really left that will be considered untapped, because when you look at Harlem, you look at Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Washington, D.C., nothing left. Chicago, I mean, Chicago still has a lot of work on that south side. But if you look at Inglewood, some parts of Inglewood, when I went home maybe about 6 months ago, I saw people that walking dogs, and I was like, where'd they come from? Honestly, because Inglewood, if anyone knows, is used to be rough, one of the roughest areas in the city. And then I was like, well, where did these, start coming from? And you see a lot of transition. So my thing is that right now Baltimore City is tearing down a lot of projects. You have Gilmore Homes, Poplaton, the Poe homes are supposedly going to be on the schedule. And I'm just worried about whether or not those people will have access to come back into the city. That to me is just, I'm just wondering, what can be done? Is it more education? Is it definitely, economic? Because people have to be able to afford homes as well. Right. So it's not just, so what I'm wondering, what can be done is definitely up under the new administration that we have in Baltimore City. We're hopeful. I'm hopeful that there's going to be some changes. I would like to see, more information, being where people can learn about home ownership, because those programs are there. But believe it or not, sometimes information is select people, and I get it. People are not going to come knock on your door and be like, let me tell you each house, you know what I mean? But I just feel like what else can be done, besides, I guess, going to knock on people's doors. Like, how can we push more information?
I think having the leadership that understands that would be from Baltimore would put that in place, so that the people that have not been a part of the, well, I guess the in crowd, they haven't been a part of that, will be notified.
Mm-hmm.
If the right administration knows that, they feel the heart of the people, they know what's going on, they know who has been left out. So making that a real effort to go after those people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, we all understand that everyone is not going to be able to become a homeowner. That's
Right.
understood. But even if you're not a homeowner, like you still should have decent housing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, again, it just makes it good for your mental state if you have decent, clean housing.
Exactly.
So some of the things that I think leadership can do currently is to streamline the process for investors. I mean, you're an investor. I mean, the process is really challenging when
Very.
it comes to, yeah, when it comes to trying to do business in Baltimore City. Um, yes. So maybe that process can be streamlined some. As far as getting the information out, I mean, maybe they can do TV commercials because most people watch TV. I don't know if they can send out a platform to their social media because, you know, right now everybody's in that social media realm. And as you were saying before, with the database, send information out via email to everyone about, you know, what's available with the home ownerships if they're interested. But again, people are going to have to be able to afford it. And everyone can't afford housing, you know, because the process to get a loan is in itself is rigorous. You know, it's not a simple process. So just trying to educate people as much as they can. Um, that's what I say. Education is key. How do we get that information to them? It's maybe challenging, but I think it can be done. You know,
Me
if
too.
they can get on social media, we can get the information out. We
Me
have
too.
the
I
ad,
believe.
you know, there are churches in the neighborhood. Why can't we give the information to the churches and have the churches, you know, give the information out as, you know, as much as possible? Or people, young people that's doing community service, have them hand the information out, you know, in like a pamphlet or something. So we have to figure it
Exactly.
out.
We do. We do. And I mean, just to touch on like the whole business streamlining, I am definitely all for that because as an investor going from the real estate realm where you didn't have a brick and mortar, I didn't have to, you know, like you could run a home office and then go into a brick and mortar and just being lost in the sauce, you know, because
Yes.
from the licensing and you hear, you can call one city office and get one story of what it is that you need to do. You'll call the next one and they'll tell you something completely different.
Absolutely.
And you're like, no one, it needs to be definitely a streamlined process.
Mhm.
Even the permit process when you're
Yes.
doing, you know, whether it's renovations or building is
In
so
zoning, the
woo,
zoning
it is a convoluted
process.
process.
Yes.
It is very convoluted. And don't get anything off the tax sale because you might as well, that
Yes.
becomes another nightmare can of worms for real estate. So, I mean, I think they just need to do an overall, like just
I agree.
review, you know, and start because, you know, I worked alongside of, you know, right there on West Baltimore Street for some time with the partnership where, you know, that was one of the things that I said that people that want to do business in the city, it should be a ABCD type, you know, thing that you should be able, because a lot of people coming into the brick and mortars don't know that if you have residential above you, you know, in that space, that you got to have, you know, certain things for the fire codes. Who tells you this stuff?
Right.
You know, no one tells you till you go to get that
Until you go
UNO.
to, right.
And
Until
they're
you're in
like,
the process. Right.
and they're
Absolutely.
like, you won't get that UNO today.
Right.
And who tells you this? Like, no one tells you these things. And even as inspectors, a lot of them don't understand why you have to have the final, then you got to turn around and do the UNO. It's like a lot of double stuff too, you
Yes.
know, and it gets real weird, you know,
Yes.
in the
And it's
city.
discouraging. It becomes discouraging.
Exactly. And some of the people can be discouraging as well because they're not, you know, the nicest. I'm just putting it out there. Like, it's true. Like, I went down there and the lady, like, they didn't tell me that, you know, when you're a new business, of course, what do you get? New starter checks, right? They don't want them.
Right.
They won't take them.
Right.
Who tells you this stuff? Like, they should tell business people this, you know, because Then you got to run across the street to get a money order.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
who?
That's true.
That
That's true.
this is stuff they should tell you on the phone, and it's like they like to see you run back and forth like a little rat.
All day, right? So
Yeah, I was like,
you done spent about 8 hours to do one thing.
yeah, right. I'm glad I reserved the day. So,
Yeah.
Cynthia, can you give us 3 marketing tips? I think you're on mute. Because
Unmute.
okay.
Unmute. Okay. 3 marketing tips. One of the tips that I would say is go over, revisit people. People that you haven't spoke to in a while. That's why you got your database. And revisit these people, call them, check on, genuinely check on people that you haven't talked to in a while, especially during COVID. You haven't seen people. We're not out and about like we used to. We're not traveling. Check in with people to see if there's anything that you can do for them.
Right.
Not that you're looking for business, but generally check on people. And as far as I think because we are at COVID, your social media, if it's not your thing that you can do, pay for somebody to do it. And I'll give you an example. Don't let that be sometimes your nieces and nephews, because if they don't really understand business like you do, it can be a fail. But actually hire somebody to do your social media so that part can still go on while you're checking on your clients. And as you're checking on your clients, you may build a new relationship with them, seeing some of the things that they need. And let's see, the third thing I would say is to revisit all the systems that you have set in place. Because this is COVID now, we have a lot of opportunity to study your craft, study what you do, study new systems that are in place so that the transition can be more smoother for you in anything that you do.
Okay. And how about you, Tammy? What would you say that in regards to, I guess, some of the best marketing tactics for someone, not just in real estate, but just in general?
Well, actually, I'm piggybacking off of Miss Cynthia. You have to stay in. It's just really the basics with everything. You have to stay in contact with your clients, whether that's via email or a phone call. Check up on people, and again, it doesn't always have to be about business. Just check up on people in general, and they're going to bring you business anyway because they see that you have a concern for them.
Right.
Make sure in your marketing that your logo. I'm not sure if people have logos, but if you don't, your logos represent a lot about your company. So you want to make sure that your logo is, clear and bright and colorful, and everything that you put out, your logo is attached to that with a phone number. I see a lot of people send me information and I don't have a phone number. I think phone numbers are very important, or emails on your literature that you send out. Whether that's email, your social media. Letterhead, like you really need to attach phone numbers and contact information so that someone can contact you if they're interested in doing business with you. That will be a good thing to do for them to have.
Right.
I see a tremendous amount of paperwork coming with no phone numbers, no contact information.
Well, that's not good. You see it too, Cynthia?
A lot, yeah.
A lot.
Wow.
And they're asking deep questions and everything.
Oh, they get caught up in the logo, like they be like, how you contact?
Right. How do you contact you? So
wow,
contact information is really important.
I better go check mine while I'm talking because I might be the main one, right? I'm guilty, but you know what? Because I think a lot of times, like I said, people open up businesses, but they don't, and then they have to go back and revisit a lot of things and fine tune them. Because some people fall into business and don't necessarily be like, I'm gonna wake up, oh, I gotta have that, or I gotta have. So you be trying to piece together things.
Yeah.
So I'm at that point where I need to start collecting definitely my emails. I need to really do better with the phone numbers, and because it's a mess, Miss Cynthia. I will tell you, it is. I mean, because I have them. Like, I have a million phone numbers, and I can go through the text messages, and I'll have to go and open up the conversations because that's all I have. Like, I don't even have the customers' names. Like, they'll be texting, they'll text me, and it's terrible. It's bad. But a lot of times that, like, I'll know them, based upon our conversation. So I'm gonna go, because we can use those phone numbers for the database, right? Or no?
Yes, you can use those phone numbers
Okay.
as well. And even I can give you a suggestion. Even when we have, because we're doing so much, it's like the baker. He's baking, he's creating cakes, but now you ask him to stop and create a database and send out emails and use Instagram. They can't do it, and we miss important parts. We're good at what we do. That part is not really for us. But when you do start texting people or email, take the time nightly to, or in the mornings, you can do it in the morning, write who they are. Because in our phones now, I'm on Android, but you can put a memo in there. I put people by the city that they're from. So when they say Baltimore, I'm like, oh yeah, she's in Baltimore. And when you search Baltimore, you'll see all the people from Baltimore, or maybe by different categories. But make sure you put those notes on their number.
Okay, because
and get help. I mean, if you need an assistant, and most of us probably do, and I understand
Yes.
it may not be in the budget, but maybe you can get an assistant 1 or 2 days out the week just to do a part of the job that you can't, not that you are not capable of doing it, but you just don't have the time.
Exactly.
So hire somebody to do that for 1 or 2 days out of the week, just so that you can stay abreast of what your goal is and where you're trying to go.
Right. Well, I've hired now. I have the one employee, and then I have a half. I could part-time. So, and she's taking on like the social media, because I don't like it. Like, people automatically, they be like, "Oh, you're young. No, I'm not," and I don't like it. I mean, because to me, it's daunting.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I have someone that does my marketing. I don't like it. I just like to do the business part of it and let her handle all the marketing for the business. Yeah.
Right. So, Cynthia, how can we reach you? Your contact information.
My contact information, my phone number first is 773-564-3854. And my website is WHAT, the letter UNEEDIS.com. Because what you need is, and that's me, I'm Master Networker.
Oh, hey now.
And I'm on all my social media is what you need is.
Okay.
As well.
Okay. And how about you, Miss Tammy?
I'm Rollins and Associates Real Estate. I am on all the social media. So if you just type in ROLLINS, you'll find me.
Okay. And anything that you would, oh, wait a minute.
Ladies. How's everybody, panel?
We are wonderful.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, my name is Maurice. Everyone calls me Party Marty. You know how you get these nicknames, a kid can't get rid of it. But I own Party Marty's Moon Bouncers, a kid's party rental company. But I'm in because I'm just listening just got in on the end, listening at bits and pieces of your show. I also do Tuesday night from 7 to 8, I'm Party Marty, Let's Talk. Podcast about persons just like yourself, you know what I mean? I do the same thing. We speak on a few subjects and topics. I wanted to chime in because I was listening. I was thinking about that. Y'all was saying how they run you back and forth, have you ill prepared to seem like they setting you up to fail. Isn't that ironic how that whole thing works? You know what I mean? They try to make you seem like you're not ready, but the bottom line is they didn't give you any information. They didn't give you any information. I went through the same thing. You know what I mean? So my conversation is to the people getting their LLC and it's out here trying to get their business started and stuff like that. When you get down there, I heard the lady say she put aside that day for that situation. Everybody, just like the ladies on the panel are telling you, you need to put aside time for whatever you're doing. Even if you're helping somebody out and you're thinking you're doing your best work. You know, they do everything they can not to tell you what's up. Donnie Glover is a friend of mine. I wouldn't say I grew up with him because I'm about 10 years older than he is, but he was a Little League player in James Mosher Little League Association that I coach and stuff at. I don't know if y'all know, but Donnie's an athlete. He runs around with the suit and the tie and all that and stuff like that. He has to be who he is professional. But Donnie's, I know him from East. We call ourselves Easter Woodians. We grew up together playing sports and stuff like that. Donnie's a heck of a sports player. And this thing that y'all have going on, I'm just going to be a minute, not going to take your time up, but, blacknews.com, bmorenews.com, Donnie Glover, for better words. What's the name of your show, ladies?
SISTABIZ.
Say it again.
SISTABIZ.
Oh, that's smooth. I like that. I should have came up with something catchy too. Mine is I'm Party Marty. Let's
Party
talk.
Marty.
That's all I can come up with.
But I'm thinking maybe like there should be a topic on, how to maybe an attorney can come and talk about the different business entities, because that information, to what Tammy was saying, people need to know. And a lot of times, even if they research it for themselves, people can misinterpret some things, and just to give them the opportunity. So maybe having an attorney come talk about the different types, LLCs, whether or not you want to, take it to an S Corp, C Corp, or even just an LLC taxed as one of those entities, because you also have that option and the different advantages to doing that. And just basically the zoning process, because a lot of people don't know, like, for what I do, I can't go into a technical commercial setting. I have to go industrial, and just knowing those different types of zonings and things. So I think that I'm all for it. I think that maybe, in the future we should have, those, because people need to know, like, not just running a business, but how to set up a business, because a lot of us want to do business, but we don't know how to do business. It's very complicated and very convoluted. So, in the city,
if I wouldn't say if anyone is listening, because we want everyone to be listening, but that's a nice format. My format is we speak on topics. Donnie Glover threw a wrench and everything this week coming up, because what we're doing is we usually do 40-50 minutes about that, and then each person comes up with their own topic. I usually have a panel of 4, maybe 5 people come up with their own topic. And then now his new format that he came up with us, we get 30 minutes of our topic, and then for the next 20 minutes, people get to call, and he takes 4 callers, 5 minutes each on whatever topic you want to talk about, and then the panel weighs in on theirs. And that's a nice segment that you just gave me for mine. My niece is a young lawyer. She's probably 30-something now, but she became a lawyer when she was like 20-some years old. And her husband, another young man, he owns Swift Electric Company. He's an electrician, yeah. And I'm sure they had those things too. You get what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. I'm sure that would be nice to ask her some questions. How does that go? What did you have to do while you were spending your time going through the bar, studying, raising 2 young children and stuff like that, and your husband was doing all the things to keep the electrical business on, up, and you passing the bar. I'm sure it can't be easy. It can't be easy. So she was doing that, but she is a lawyer. So I will definitely have her on, and thank you. I would definitely have her on my show this Tuesday from 7 to 8 to give some information. And if y'all would chime in, I would appreciate it, because one of the topics will be SISTABIZ. You know what I mean? Exactly what y'all are doing, and give us some insight on how does that work.
Hey, and we got Darius too.
Good evening. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
I just wanted to come on to thank you ladies for what you're doing for the community, because a lot of brothers and sisters, they need to see the legal side to it on actually how to get it done, instead of just seeing people getting it done, because there's more to it. And y'all came here and provided that blueprint. That's what's needed to be passed down to the youth. And not even just the youth, it's some of us that's our age that actually need that to get their business striving and going. So we definitely appreciate y'all coming on tonight. We appreciate it. And y'all can catch us Monday through Friday, 10 through 11.
Okay. Oh, it's coming up. An hour.
Oh,
1
it is?
hour. Well, it's Monday through Friday. You say 10 to
10
11,
a.m.
10 p.m.
Yes, ma'am, in the morning. It's the morning news. The morning news.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I should have been more specific. The morning news.
Look, I was like, it's a show coming up. Okay. So what would you leave us with, Tammy? We'll let her have, and then you guys can say the final words. I guess we'll just go around. And so we'll start with Miss Tammy. What would you leave in regards to economic development? I know we touched on real estate. Just if you wanted to leave us with something.
Sure. Again, just study your craft. If that's something that you're interested in, get as much information as you can. If that means going to classes, listening to podcasts, reading books, just get the information, because once you have the information, they always say knowledge is power. The process is going to be rigorous, but if your goal is to achieve real estate or having stability in your life, education will be the key to get it there.
Exactly. And last words for you, Darius?
Knowledge, like she said, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. We just got to buy black. That's what it's about. If we stick together and buy black, we can make our own, and it'll be better for our children and our grandchildren. And supporting black businesses. That's all.
Amen. And how about you, Mr. Party Mark?
My thing is, I own Party Marty's Moon Bouncers. I just presently retired last year, and I had my life set up. I didn't just stop working. I retired from the state of Maryland. I'm a prison guard. Y'all would think I was Clifton T. Perkins, but I own Party Marty's Moon Bouncers. So I just, put myself in a position to walk away and retire, and was gathering my Social Security. I'm 64, and I own Party Marty's Moon Bouncers. Life was perfect, and then who was prepared for the pandemic? Just like it says, if you don't plan to succeed, plan to fail. Now I have to go back to work. I had to go back to work part-time to support my company, because the warehouse still has to be paid for. The insurance has to be paid. The trucks still need insurance and stuff like that. If you're in business, first of all, y'all, prepare. And one last thing, put some damn money away for the rainy day. SISTABIZ, thank you for having me on with an awesome thing. I'm on, my show is It's Party Marty, Let's Talk. I'm on every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Shout out to Donnie Glover, Be More News, and Black America.
Amen. And this has been SISTABIZ, and I am Nicole Orr from ANC Pack and Ship. I want to see you all one day. I'm only there 2 days a week, though, and hopefully soon, Marty, maybe we can do business, because I'll have my little warehouse and I'll have storage. So,
SISTABIZ, when is your show? When is your show on? Tell me when.
We are here on Wednesday nights, starting at 7, from 7 to 8 on Be More News. So I thank you all for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all for coming.
Great show, SISTABIZ. Congrats y'all to the panel. Congrats. Hands up, everybody. Awesome job.
I know.
See you when I see you. Wednesday at 7. See you then. Shout out.
See you later. Thank you.